Joining us now with his legal expertise, his experience in the Nixon administration as its White House counsel, John Dean, author of Worse Than Watergate and Broken Government. John, thanks for your time tonight.
Pleasure, Keith.
Am I mistaken, or are these newly released memos a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy and saying we can't prosecute people who followed these memos? Is that not another kind of self-fulfilling prophecy?
It is in some regards, yes. These memos are so embarrassing, Keith. They're embarrassing morally. They're embarrassing legally. The lawyers are going to have a lot of fun pulling this stuff apart and showing the flaws in it. This was not good law. It will never be good moral judgment. But I must say that Obama does get credit for releasing this material, and that, to me, shows that he's not going to try to repeat and use this kind of procedure. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put it out there.
Doesn't say anything about who's after Obama, unfortunately. The devil's advocate position in these memos, per se, as they existed during the Bush administration. If the CIA cannot go to the Justice Department and get an honest answer, if they can't be told, stop, this is illegal, it is always illegal, a memo from us is not going to change that, who are they supposed to turn to? In other words, are they to some degree put into a box, even if it is of their own creation, once they ask a corrupt Justice Department for a ruling?
Well, that's obviously why they went to the Justice Department, corrupt or not corrupt, or collusive or non-collusive. They wanted this legal opinion because it gave them the cover they needed. You really can't ask an agent in the CIA to have to hire a lawyer to see if his decision to do what his boss tells him is right or wrong. So there is, in fact, there's a long history in the law. During Watergate, Keith, two of the burglars who broke into Dan Ellsberg's office had their case dismissed because they relied on Howard Hunt's word this was a national security operation, and the Court of Appeals said yes, that defense should have been presented, and it was never prosecuted because they'd been given that word. So there is an area of law here where theoretically there is authority to undertake really misconduct. But
in that precedent that you just cited, and in this, is the real terror not in the past but in the future, that President Obama honors the Bush legal fig leaves, if we can use that analogy again? Is he not authorizing his successors, maybe even himself, to say, look, if I can pack my Justice Department with enough cronies or enough sadists or enough crackpots to write memos saying I can do whatever I want, then I can do whatever I want?
Well, the problem is in the process and the practice. Indeed, a president can do this. In fact, it's been very common since the Reagan years to indeed stack your Justice Department with people who will give you the kinds of opinions you want when you want them. That wasn't always the case. To a degree, the Clinton administration didn't do that, and the Obama administration is not doing that. The Carter administration didn't do that. So it's become something of a Republican thing to stack the Justice Department to get the kind of opinions they want, and it's a very, very troublesome practice because those precedents lay on the books in the department unless an attorney general comes in and reverses them, and that's one of the things that Obama's talked about doing.
If federal statute, as Howard Fineman mentioned, says the nation can't torture, and it gets very specific in these terms, but there are some flimsy legal memos written saying, well, maybe we can. On what basis does an attorney general or president have the right to say, I'm going to act based on what the flimsy memos say and not on what the law says?
Well, as I read this, what Obama has given a pass to are those who implemented the policy. I don't think he's given a necessary pass to those who created the policy, although he's always said if it's just a matter of policy and a bad practice, he'd look forward rather than backward. This is still pretty fuzzy. He still, I think, has left a door open that if something occurs that prompts him to feel he really needs to take action. For example, like this thing that's going on in Spain, which has now been turned down by the Attorney General in that country, but it hasn't been refused by the court. And there are also other countries with potential jurisdiction that could indeed force the United States to take some action here, or it really embarrass itself more severely. So the story isn't over. It's still ongoing. This is just another embarrassment for the Bush administration and their conduct because now we all can see it. But as I say, I think Obama gets credit for putting it out there.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, I think that door was wider open before he put this out than it is right now. John Dean, the author of Worse Than Watergate and Broken Government. As always, John, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Keith.